supreme majesty and opulence, that he is only conquered by devotees whose pure love is imbued with intimacy and is free from all conceptions of awe and reverence. With great love, I again offer my obeisances to the Lord Damodar hundreds and hundreds of times. O Lord, although you are able to give all kind of benedictions, I do not pray to you for boon of impersonal liberation, nor the highest liberation of eternal life in Vaikuntha, nor any other boon which may be obtained by executing the 9 processes of bhakti. O Lord, I simply wish that this form of yours as Bala Gopal in Vrindavan may ever be manifest in my heart. For what is the use to me of any other boons besides this? O Lord, your lotus face, which is encircled by locks of soft black hair, tinged with red, is kissed again and again by Mother Yashoda, and your lips are reddish like the bimba fruit. May this beautiful vision of your lotus face be ever manifest in my heart. Thousands and thousands of other benedictions are of no use to me. O Supreme Godhead, I offer my obeisances unto you. O Damodar, O Ananta, O Vishnu, O Master, O my Lord, be pleased upon me by showering your glance of mercy upon me. Deliver this poor ignorant fool who is immersed in an ocean of worldly sorrows and become visible to my eyes. O Lord Damodar, just as the 2 sons of Kuvera, Manigriva and Nalakuvara, were delivered from the curse of Narada and made into great devotees by you in your form as a baby tied with rope to a wooden grinding mortar. In the same way, please give to me your own prema bhakti. I only long for this and have no desire for any kind of liberation. O Lord Damodar, I first of all offer my obeisances to the brilliantly effulgent rope which binds your belly. I then offer my obeisances to your belly, which is the abode of the entire universe. I humbly bow down to your most beloved Srimati Radharani, and I offer all obeisances to you, the Supreme Lord, who displays unlimited pastimes. Shri Damodar Ashtakam ki.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari Jai Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जना यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जना यमुनातीरा वनचारी यमुनातीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जना यमुनातीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव राधा माधव राधे जय राधा गोपीनाथ राधा गोपीनाथ राधे जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद नित्य गौर हरिबो 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 नित्य गौर हरिबो जय ओम श्रीपाद परमहंस पूर्वाचार्य अष्टोत्तर श्रीमद एस भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी शिल प्रभुपाद की जय ओम विश्वपाद परमहंस पूर्वाचार्य अष्टोत्तर श्रीमद भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर महाराज शिल प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवत महापुराण की। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 9, entitled Brahma's Prayers for Creative Energy, Text 34. Nana karma vitanena Nana karma vitanena Praja bhavi shishrikshata Praja bhavi shishrikshata Natma vasiddati asminste Natma vasidati asminste वर्षयान् मद अनुग्रह वर्षयान् मद अनुग्रह नाना कर्म वितानेन प्रजा भवेश शिक्षता नात्मात् वसिद्धति अस्मिन्स्ते वर्षयान् मद अनुग्रह Mataji, Nana karma, varieties of service. Vitanena, by expansion of. Praja, population. Bahavi, innumerable. Shishrikshata, desiring to increase. Na, never. Atma, self. Avasidati, will be bereaved. Asmin, in the matter. Te, of you. Varshiyan, always increasing. Mat, my. Anugraha, causeless mercy. Translation. Since you have desired to increase the population innumerably and expand your varieties of service, you shall never be deprived in this matter, because my causeless mercy upon you will always increase for you, increase for all times. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. A pure devotee of the Lord, being cognizant of the facts of particular time, object, and circumstances, always desires to expand the number of devotees of the Lord in various ways. Such expansion of transcendental service may appear to be material to the materialist, but factually, they are expansions of the causeless mercy of the Lord towards the devotee. Plans for such activities may appear to be material activities, but they are different in potency, being engaged in the satisfaction of the transcendental senses of the Supreme. Om Agyantimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutaha Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Shute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे रामो राम राम हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. I'd like to welcome all of you to today's Srimad Bhagavatam class. In this section of Srimad Bhagavatam, in the third canto, we are seeing a discussion between Lord Brahma and Lord Vishnu. The Supreme Lord is discussing with Brahma about how he should do his service of creation. And the Supreme Lord, in these few verses, starting from verse number 30 till verse number 40, this 34 is right in between that section, Lord Vishnu is giving Brahma 4 instructions or 4 things that he should remember to be able to execute his service very powerfully. And these are 4 things that all of us can remember also to be able to serve nicely, to be engaged in our spiritual lives nicely. These are instructions that are given by the Supreme Lord himself to his devotee. And if we just follow these instructions as it is in our own lives, we will find 4 principles that Vishnu is teaching Brahma, and these 4 principles are very relevant to any devotee in their lives. The first principle that Lord Vishnu teaches Lord Brahma, he says, Bhuyastvam tapa atishta vidyams chaiva madashrayam tabyam antar hridi brahman lokan drakshayashi apavratam. So this is verse 30. Lord Vishnu is telling Brahma, O Brahma, situate yourself in penance and meditation and follow the principles of knowledge received to receive my favor. By these actions, you will be able to understand everything from within your heart. So Lord Vishnu is telling Brahma the step towards realization. All of us, we want to practice spiritual lives. But while we are hearing knowledge, while we are gaining knowledge from the scriptures, while we are chanting our rounds, while we are doing our sadhana, we also need realizations to be able to grow. Krishna is giving us the formula for how a person can experience realizations in their lives. So he's saying penance, which is austerities, plus knowledge gives you shelter, which gives you realization. So for us in our own life, if we want to understand God, if we want to realize God, we need to take up austerities and we need to gain knowledge. The combination of gaining knowledge and austerities leads us to realization because it gives us shelter of the Lord. When Lord Ram, he was coronated as the king of Ayodhya, Diwali is a festival that commemorates that festival. All the devatas from the heavens, they came to meet Lord Ram. And they told Lord Ram that Agastya Muni has completed 12 years of austerities. So we are all going to meet Agastya Muni and take darshan because he has attained all siddhis now. And they asked Lord Ram, would you also come with us? And Lord Ram was very eager to meet the sages. So Lord Ram went along with all the devatas to meet Agastya Muni. And all the devatas met Agastya Rishi. They congratulated him for his 12-year-long tapasya. He performed the tapasya inside water. After 12 years, he came out and successfully completed his tapasya. So Agastya Muni, when he saw Lord Ram, he said, I am feeling so fortunate that you have come personally to meet me. And he said, you coming to meet me is actually the fruit of tapasya, is a real fruit of tapasya. And Agastya Rishi asked Lord Ram, can you please stay with me for one night? Lord Ram stayed with Agastya Rishi for one night, and Agastya Rishi shared so many beautiful stories with Lord Ram. And the next day, when Lord Ram was leaving back, Lord Ram thanked Agastya Rishi for allowing him to stay and told him that I am feeling purified in your association. And Agastya Rishi tells Lord Ram, my dear Lord, I am the one who is purified in your association. And he said that anyone who stays in the association of the Lord, he feels very purified. So the fruit of tapasya, whenever we do any kind of austerities, whether you're doing fasting, whether you're doing Ekadasi, whether you're doing any kind of vratas in Kartik, whatever austerities you do, the fruit of that austerity is darshan of the Lord, is when you actually get to experience the Lord. And when you get to experience the Lord, that is when you feel that all that austerity was worth it. A lot of times we perform austerities, but at the end of the austerities, you feel more frustrated than happy. A lot of people, when they perform these intense austerities, after the austerity is over, they are more angry than humble. So the idea of austerity is, at the end of the austerity, one should feel more purified and one should feel more connected with the Lord. So that means whatever austerities we do, whatever penances we do, after the penances, do we feel the connection with the Lord? That is the actual sign that your austerity is successful. Agastya Muni did an austerity for 12 years, but he felt at the end of the austerity, by having darshan of the Lord, I am feeling purified. And he felt that is the real success of austerity. So every time we undertake an austerity, we have to ask ourselves, am I coming closer to Krishna after this austerity? Am I feeling more purified and more closer to the Lord after this austerity? That is the real sign that the austerity has given you the result. Dhruva Maharaj, he performed austerities for 6 months. At the end of his 6 months of performing austerities, the Supreme Lord personally came to give Dhruva his darshan. And when he came in front of Dhruva Maharaj, the Lord was very pleased with Dhruva. And the Lord gave Dhruva the touch of his conch shell. The Lord touched the conch shell on the head of Dhruva. And as soon as the Lord touched the conch shell on the head of Dhruva, he was a very transformed person. Till that point of time, Dhruva was performing all these austerities out of anger towards his father, towards his stepmother, towards the whole world. He was very, very angry and he wanted to conquer the whole world. He wanted to gain so much wealth, because of which he began the austerities. But as soon as he was touched by that conch shell, he forgot all his revenge and anger. And he understood that I have come to the Lord for the wrong reasons. But seeing the Lord, being touched by the conch shell of the Lord, I am feeling so purified. And he was so grateful. Garuda, on whom the Lord was sitting, and he came to give darshan to Dhruva, he was feeling that the Lord has touched the conch shell on Dhruva's head, but Dhruva is a small boy. He is a 5-year-old boy. This boy deserves more than that. So Dhruva felt that I want to give Dhruva, so Garuda felt, I want to give Dhruva more mercy of the Lord. So what Garuda did was, he was taking off. And after the Lord gave darshan to Dhruva and he touched Dhruva with the conch shell, Dhruva got a lot of realizations at the end of that. And the Lord was, Lord told Garuda, let's go back. And Garuda was taking off to go back to Vaikunta. And when Garuda was taking off, I don't know how many of you have traveled by helicopters. When you see how a helicopter takes off, it's very different from how an airplane takes off, right? The helicopter can just rise suddenly in the air. And usually the helicopter, there are different helicopter drivers who try different stunts to take the helicopter off. So like that, Garuda has different styles of taking off. He can take off normally. He's a bird. He can take off in any way. So Garuda did a very different style of taking off this time. This time when he took off in such a way that the feet of the Lord was hanging, the lotus feet of the Lord is hanging out, outside Garuda's body. He took a flight in such a way that the feet of the Lord landed straight on Dhruva's head. Now, the Lord didn't plan it. This was Garuda's plan, And the way Garuda took off, the feet of the Lord touched Dhruva's head. And Dhruva felt the lotus feet of the Lord directly on his head. And the Lord was thinking, I didn't plan that. I didn't plan to touch my feet on Dhruva's head. This is Garuda's extra plan over here. The point is when we perform tapasya, and we perform tapasya in the right consciousness, we gain realizations by the touch of the Lord, by the mercy of the Lord. And the devotees of the Lord try their best to give us extra special mercy of the Lord in the form of realizations. So certain realizations that we get when we practice a path of Krishna consciousness, they may not be necessarily our own realizations. They are the result of the Lord and His devotees blessing us. And then suddenly we get these realizations. The second thing the Lord tells Brahma is, He tells him, Tata atmani loke cha bhakti yukta samahitaha drastasi mam tatam brahman mai lokam stvamatmana. He says, O Brahma, when you are absorbed in devotional service, in the course of your creative activities, you will see me in you and throughout the universe. And you will see that you yourself, the universe, and all living entities are in me. This is the second thing that happens when you try to connect with the Lord. So the first thing that you get is realization. The second thing that you get is recognition. Recognition that Krishna is in everything and everything is in Krishna. This is a very important realization that one needs to have as one grows in one's spiritual journey. There was a great saint named Kamba who wrote the Kamba Ramayana, very exalted Ramayana. After he finished writing the Kamba Ramayana, he went to Srirangam and he told all the acharyas in Srirangam that I have written Kamba Ramayana. I have written this entire Ramayana, 10,000 verses. Please allow me to recite this Ramayana in front of Ranganath and for all your pleasure. To the acharyas of Srirangam, they told him, first you go to the Shiva acharyas and get the blessings of the 3,000 Shiva acharyas and then you come to us. In that time, there were two seats of power. The one was the Shaivites and one was the Vaishnavites. Srirangam was a seat of learning for the Vaishnavas. And there was another place called Chidambaram, which was a seat of learning for the Shaivites. So the Shiva Vaishnavas told him, go and get blessings from the 3,000 Shiva acharyas and then we will bless you. There was unity among them at that point. So Kamba, he went to Chidambaram and he went to meet the Shiva acharyas. There were 3,000 of them. And these 3,000 Shiva acharyas, you cannot get them in one place. Just like our Chowpatty temple, there are so many brahmacharis. You cannot find them in one place. They are all over the place, roaming around. Impossible practically to get all of them in one place. But this person, Kamba, he was trying to talk to all 3,000 Shiva acharyas. He was finding it so difficult. He was spending months and months trying to get all of them. It was not possible only. Then he gave up. There was a beautiful temple of the Lord, of Lord Vishnu in Chidambaram. He went over there and he began to cry in front of the Lord. And he started crying in front of the Lord. He said, I've put so much effort in writing this and I'm not able to get these 3,000 Shiva acharyas together. I think it's better I end my life. What is the point in me writing so much, but if I'm not going to get approval of the devotees? And then he decided, I'm going to go to the burial grounds and end my life jumping into the fire. And he reached the burial ground and there suddenly he saw the 3,000 Shiva acharyas standing over there. Because one of their sons had died. And they were all assembled over there for the cremation of these sons. And Kamba was amazed at what I couldn't manage to achieve. Suddenly after offering a prayer and deciding to die, all of them are over here. He went to the 3,000 Shiva acharyas and told them, I have written Kamba Ramayana, can you please hear me? They said, are you gone mad? Look at the occasion. Is this the occasion to narrate the Ramayana? Our son has died over here. We are over here in a burial. We are mourning his loss. And you are saying, you will recite Ramayana. Will your recitation of Ramayana revive this boy? Kamba said yes. He just spontaneously said, yes, it will revive. And the Shiva acharyas became ready to hear, his recitation. And Kamba sat in the burial ground, in a cremation ground. The first recitation of Ramayana happened in the burial ground. And he recited the entire Ramayana. And as he was reciting the Ramayana, one kand after another, all the kands got over till he reached the Yuddha kand, and the son was not getting revived only. And these Shiva Acharyas, they were getting really angry, thinking that what is happening? And when he reached the Yuddha Kand, and he was narrating the section where Hanumanji revived Lakshman, who was unconscious, by getting the help of Garuda. And the moment Garuda appeared and the Lakshman got revived, this boy was bitten by a snake, and that's how he died. The moment Kamba narrated that section of the Ramayana, this boy got up. And the Shiva Acharyas are amazed that the Ramayana had such a potency to revive this dead boy from a snake bite. And they gave him blessings. And then Kamba went to the Shiva Acharyas and he narrated over there. And suddenly, all the Shiva Acharyas also gave him blessing. Seeing Krishna everywhere and seeing Krishna in everything is not an easy thing. Kamba Muni over here, in a dead crematorium where a boy had died, through the experience of giving them Ramayana, he was able to give them an experience of seeing the presence of Ram, the blessing of Ram, in such a burial place also, a place where there is no hope. Krishna is everywhere. We have to only recognize him, and he gives us life. There are many preachers who preach the path of Krishna consciousness. Kanishta level of preaching Krishna consciousness is to tell people that Krishna is only in the temple. When a Kanishta Adhikari preaches Krishna consciousness, he will tell people Krishna is only in the temple and rest everything is Maya, rest everything is illusion. Just like a child learns initially from school. So only in the school he feels I am learning. But the school teachers teach the child, actually you can learn from everywhere. So similarly, initially we feel that we can learn and we can experience Krishna only in the temple, only in the deities. But that is the Kanishta, that is the school level of Krishna consciousness. But as you become bigger and as you get older, you start realizing Krishna is not only there in the temple, he is everywhere. And that is a much higher level of Krishna consciousness, and that is a much higher level of experiencing Krishna. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Yomam pashyati sarvatra, sarvatra mayi pashyati. So he is saying, one is Yomam pashyati sarvatra means, I am in everything. And sarvatra mayi pashyati means everything is in me. So now, when you come in front of Radha Gopinath, we know that in Krishna the whole world is there. We know in Gopinath the entire universe is there. So when we take shelter of Gopinath, we know in this personality, practically everything in creation is there. But the question is, can we experience Gopinath outside the temple? Can we experience the presence of Gopinath in a mountain? Can we experience presence of Gopinath in our difficulties? Can we experience presence of Gopinath in a person that we hate the most? Can we experience Gopinath in a situation which is very, very painful for us? That is actually more Krishna conscious. So one is realizing Krishna in a deity in the form of a Archa Vigraha. But second is realizing Krishna in every aspect of our life, in every person that is involved in our life, in every situation of our life. That is a much higher realization. And that is what Lord Vishnu is trying to tell Brahma over here. Prahlad Maharaj, he began to teach his friends. One of the teachings that Prahlad gave his friends is to experience Krishna everywhere. Is to experience Krishna in every entity in this world. That is the realization that we all should aspire for. So the first thing that Lord Vishnu taught Brahma is recognizing the presence of the Lord through austerities. So when we perform austerities, we experience Krishna, we recognize the blessings of the Lord, and then the second is that realization of the presence of Krishna in every aspect of our life. And the third thing that Lord Vishnu talks to Brahma about is renunciation. He says, this is verse number 33 of this chapter. Yada rahitim atmanam bhutendriya gunashayai sarupena mayopetam pashyam swarajam richati. He says, when you are free from the conception of gross and subtle bodies, and when your senses are free from the influences of the modes of material nature, you will realize your pure form in my association. At that time, you will be situated in pure consciousness. All of us, we're trying to practice Krishna consciousness, but time and again, we get into this illusion of this body. Time and again, we might have recognition, we might have some realizations, but unfortunately, again and again, we get into this illusion which is connected to the body. And then, therefore, we need renunciation, which is freedom from this illusion that we are this physical body. It is explained that Kunti Maharani, in her prayers, she gives us a very beautiful way in which we can overcome the bodily concept of life. And she offers this prayer by chanting a very beautiful verse, which gives us a deeper understanding of this verse that Lord Vishnu is talking about. She tells, she is praying to the Lord, Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. So these four names that she is talking about, Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya. So all the names that she is talking about, they're all names of her relatives. Vasudev is her relative, brother. Nanda Maharaj is her relative. Yashodamai is her relative. Devaki is her relative. So she's taking names of all her relatives. The problem with all of us is that when the moment we relate with people in this world, the moment we relate with the body and all things that are associated with the body, we naturally move away from Krishna. The bodily concept of life takes us away from the Lord, right? The more we are attached to the body, the lesser we are able to practice spiritual life. One of the reasons why people are not able to come to the path of Krishna consciousness is because they are scared that they have to give up so much. This is one of the greatest fears why people avoid ISKCON, because they feel they have to renounce, they have to give up the bodily attachment, they have to give up, they'll control what you eat, they control what, the kind of relationships you have, they control every aspect of our life. And we get scared that if I take up the path of Krishna consciousness, I might have to renounce. But Kunti Maharani over here is doing something very beautiful. She is trying to reconcile how all her relatives are all connected to Krishna. She is saying that, each one of them, Kunti is offering respects to all her relatives. Though they are her relatives, she is offering respects to all of them. Why? Because they are connected to Krishna. So here there are two aspects in this verse. There is Nama and there is Pranama. Nama means there is names of the Lord. All the names of the Lord that are being taken over here, Krishnaya, Vasudevaya, Devaki Nandanaya Cha, Nanda Gopa Kumaraya, all the names that are taken of the Lord are connected with his devotees and they are connected to her family. But she is not just chanting the names of her relatives, but she is offering respects to even her relatives. Govindaya Namo Namaha. She is offering respects to not only the Supreme Lord, but she is offering respects to all those people who are connected to the Supreme Lord. Which means real renunciation can come when we renounce the thought that they are mine. If you start thinking, my relatives are mine, my wealth is mine, my car is mine, my house is mine, my body is mine. The more we start thinking that these things belong to me, the more we are entrapped by the snare of Maya. But the moment we start realizing that these things don't belong to me, they belong to Krishna, but through Krishna they're related to me, then we start respecting them. We respect our relatives, we respect our body, we respect things that are given to us, we respect our house, we respect everything because we see everything in connection with Krishna. And that is real renunciation. So the moment we connect with Krishna and we experience Krishna and his presence in our life through things that are connected to us, we are truly renounced. And this is the role of Krishna in our life. The role of Krishna in our life is to attract us towards him, but not disconnected from everything, but seeing everything in connection to him only. And that is real Krishna consciousness. One time, Lord Krishna was playing a lot of mischief in Vrindavan. There was one particular gopi whose name was Chandramati. And Krishna used to harass this gopi every day. And he knew which route she will be taking. And every time she passes through a particular street, Krishna would be there. Daily he would break 2 pots this gopi would be carrying. And one day, this gopi decided, I am really going to trick this Krishna. What she did was, she, instead of getting pots made of mud, which are easy to break, she got 2 pots made of metal. And she painted them to look like clay from outside. And, she took these 2 pots to the banks of the Yamuna river to fetch water. And she, filled the pots with water. And she was walking back. Suddenly she heard the sound of a clang. And she immediately, she realized that Krishna is coming here to break the pots. Krishna came to know that these pots are not made of mud, but they're made of metal. So what Krishna did, this time, instead of breaking the pots, which he couldn't because they are metal, he did something very different. The pots were filled with water and kept on the banks of the Yamuna river. She was about to pick them up. Krishna kicked both the pots. And both the pots tumbled and fell into the river. And they were, drowning into the river. And the gopi was very upset with Krishna that again he did a mischief and he is troubling her. And she was very upset that she is losing her pots because they have, gone into the river. And just then Krishna told the gopi, see what has happened to your pots. And she saw towards the Yamuna river, the place where the 2 pots had gone down into the water, from that place 2 divine beings came out. And they went to the spiritual world. This lady, this gopi Chandramati, she was shocked because she asked him, what exactly happened? Krishna said, I kicked the 2 pots. And by kicking the 2 pots, I broke their cycle of birth and death. And both your pots have reached the spiritual world. Now, she was totally bewildered because she didn't realize that even pots can go back to the spiritual world, by the kick of Krishna. So when Krishna breaks a pot, we are thinking that he is making loss for us. But actually Krishna, whatever he does, it is to attract our hearts towards him. The word Krishna means, the word Krishi refers to Bhumi, the earth. And the word Na refers to the person who gives Ananda, pleasure to the earth. So Krishna means the one who gives pleasure to the earth. And Krishna also means the one who gives pleasure to all his devotees. And therefore, when we chant the names of Krishna and we take shelter of Krishna, we start seeing the entire world in connection with Krishna. And everyone who comes in touch with Krishna, they eventually get liberated. So when we start looking at our body, when we start looking at our relatives, when we start looking at everything that is connected to us in connection with Krishna, we start realizing that we become renounced from claiming proprietorship over this body, and we become renounced with the thought that these are all connected with Krishna, and then naturally we love them more. The 4th thing that Vishnu tells Lord Brahma is about responsibility. He tells, in this verse that we are seeing, he tells Lord Brahma, since you have decided to increase the population innumerably and expand your varieties of services, you shall never be deprived in this matter, because my causeless mercy upon you will always increase for all time. So Krishna is telling Lord Vishnu is telling Lord Brahma here, that engage in service, you will be empowered and your passion will never bind you. Each one of us want to do some service. We want to take up some responsibilities. But when we take up responsibilities, we are worried whether we will be able to carry out those responsibilities. We take up some very, very difficult service and we are wondering, can I actually do this? Will I be able to manage this service? The Lord is assuring us through Lord Brahma over here that just engage in your service. I will give you all the intelligence. I will give you all the empowerment that is needed for you to engage in the service. And you will not be caught by the passion and ignorance of the material modes. The Supreme Lord, when He walks, He is creating so much attraction for the devotees. It is explained both in the Ramayana and in the Srimad Bhagavatam, there are beautiful verses that describe how the Lord walks. And when Lord Ram was entering Mithila and when Lord Krishna enters Mathura, both these stories have a very similar description. How everyone who was looking at the Lord walk, they were enamored by the different limbs of the Lord's body. Someone would look at the shoulders of the Lord. And when someone would look at the shoulders, they would not be able to take their eyes off the shoulders of the Lord because the shoulders of the Lord were so attractive. Someone would look at the back of the Lord. And when someone would look at the back of the Lord, they would not be able to take their eyes off the back of the Lord because the back of the Lord itself is so attractive. Someone would look at the eyes of the Lord and they would be so mesmerized by the eyes of the Lord that they couldn't see any other part of the Lord's body. And someone would look at the beautiful hair of the Lord and they would be so attracted by the hair of the Lord that they would not look at any other part of the Lord. So each one of these Mathuravasis and Mithilavasis, whenever they would look at the Lord's different body parts, they would get so mesmerized, they would not look beyond. It is explained that every part of the Lord's body represents one of the Devatas. Each Devata in this universe actually resides in one of the parts of the Lord's body. And when you are attracted to particular Devata, you are actually attracted to one particular part of the Lord. But a devotee who actually sees the Lord in completeness, he zooms out and he looks at entire body of the Lord and sees all the parts of the Lord and gets attracted to Lord in totality. So you can either choose to be attracted to one form or one part of the Lord's body or the entire body of the Lord. Either ways, you are attracted to the Lord only. And the attraction to the Lord is something that is swabhavik, that is very natural for a living entity. And when a living entity wants to engage in service, the Lord empowers you in a way that you can't even imagine. You can't even think and imagine that I can do this. But when you meditate on the different forms of the Lord, different aspects of the Lord empowers you in such a way that you can do things beyond your capacity. It is explained that at one point, Adi Shankaracharya, he was very eagerly wanting to write a commentary on the Vedanta. And he was particularly looking at studying one Upanishad. And he wanted a particular Upanishad. So he told one of his disciples to go and get this Upanishad. I want to refer this Upanishad. So they had a large library, Adi Shankaracharya's library. So this disciple went to the library and he got the Upanishad, gave it to Shankaracharya. So the Shankaracharya opened the Upanishad and he was wanting to write a commentary on that particular Upanishad. When he opened it, he saw that it is not the Upanishad, it is Vishnu Sahasranam. He told his disciple, Arey, I told you to get this Upanishad. Why did you get Vishnu Sahasranam? He said, go and put it back, go and get that Upanishad. The disciple was very confused and bewildered. He said, what is this? I got that Upanishad, how Vishnu Sahasranam is here? He went back again to the library, very carefully, went through, and he saw that he bought that particular Upanishad, gave it to Shankaracharya. And when Shankaracharya opened it, again it was Vishnu Sahasranam. Shankaracharya said, what is wrong with you? I told you to get the Upanishad. Why are you getting Vishnu Sahasranam again and again? This time Shankaracharya himself went. And he himself searched the library and he picked up that Upanishad and got back. And he opened it. Again Vishnu Sahasranam. And then Shankaracharya understood, the Lord wants me to write a commentary on Vishnu Sahasranam before writing a commentary on the Upanishads. And then the Lord Shankaracharya first wrote a commentary on Vishnu Sahasranam. Imagine, Adi Shankaracharya writing a commentary on Vishnu Sahasranam. And after he wrote the commentary on Vishnu Sahasranam, then he went on and wrote a commentary on the Upanishads. At that time, when this was going on, Lakshmi Devi was talking to Lord Narayan. She asked Lord Narayan, my dear Lord, what are you doing with your devotee? Adi Shankaracharya is Lord Shiva himself. He said, why are you making him, write a commentary on Vishnu Sahasranam? And she told him, if you have made him write a commentary on Vishnu Sahasranam, you also must do something. You can't just lie down on the snake bed and do nothing. You also should do something. You're engaging a devotee in so much service. You also should do some service. The Lord said, don't worry, I have already planned it. And he said, in future, I am going to incarnate as Parashar Bhatta. And I will be writing a commentary on Vishnu Sahasranam also. And he said, and eventually Parashar Bhatta appears. Parashar Bhatta is an incarnation of the Lord himself. And he writes a commentary on Vishnu Sahasranam, which is known as Bhagavad Guna Darshanam. It is explained that the Supreme Lord, he can empower anyone to do anything. One of the names of the Lord, he is known as Aniruddhaya. So the name Aniruddhaya essentially means that all the activities that are desired to be done, Aniruddhaya essentially means someone who is unstoppable. That means if the Lord wants something to happen, it will happen. And, like over here, Shankaracharya wanting to write some Upanishad, but the Lord wants him to write Vishnu Sahasranam. No matter how much he tries, he will end up doing that only. So for all of us, we are trying to do some service. But if we start thinking that I am doing it, there will always be many obstacles that will come on the way. But the moment we start understanding and realizing that I am doing it on behalf of the Lord, I'm doing it on behalf of the Acharyas, I'm doing it because the Lord wants me to do this, then there is no obstacle that will come on your way to engage in your service and complete your service. All the obstacles will be taken care by the Lord by His empowerment. So here Lord Vishnu tells Lord Brahma 4 keys of how he can engage in service and complete his service. The first key that he talks about is recognition. How he should recognize his own personality and his own connection with the Lord through the path of austerity. Understand that the moment he performs austerities for the pleasure of the Lord, that is where real purification happens. After recognizing his connection, then the second thing that Lord Brahma has to have is called realization. When he realizes that Krishna is everywhere and everything is in Krishna. Not only that, when I see a deity, there is Krishna there, but actually Krishna is everywhere. That realization comes when we start engaging in service. There's a second step that we need to undergo. The third thing is renunciation. Renunciation about the illusion of the body. And the renunciation comes when we understand that everything and everyone is connected to the Lord. And the moment we start realizing that we are not this body, but we are servants of the Lord, and everyone and everything around us is connected to us through the Lord, and that renunciation makes us detached from the bodily concept. And the fourth thing is responsibility, that when we engage in the service of the Lord, we take up some responsibility for the Lord will empower us, and all obstacles that become on the path, we'll be able to overcome it and carry out our responsibilities by the empowerment of the Lord. These 4 R's that the Lord Vishnu tells Lord Brahma are the 4 R's that can help us in our own journey of our spiritual lives also. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Granthrat Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.